I'm playing Drake of the 99 Dragons.
He's gonna take you back to the past to play the shitty games that suck ass. He'd rather have a buffalo take a diarrhea dump in his ear. He'd rather eat the rotten asshole of a roadkill skunk and down it with beer. He's the angriest gamer you've ever heard. He's the angry Nintendo nerd. He's the angry Atari Sega nerd. He's the angry video game nerd.
Oh, hey, I've just been meditating to summon the power of the Chosen One to give me the patience and the courage to play today's game. And this is one that I've gotten tons of requests for, and I've been dreading the day when this game is old enough for me to review. Drake of the 99 Dragons.
Drake of the 99 Dragons is legendary among gamers for being one of the worst games of all time. But that's all it was to everybody. A legend. So very few have actually experienced this. I have.
This game is what you get if somebody ate every badass dual pistol wielding trench coat wearing late 90s action movie cliche, then barfed it out, ate the barf, and then dumped their ass into a piss and shit stained bus station toilet. And then they took that rancid concoction and somehow printed Xbox discs made out of it. 99 Dragons, made out of 99% bullshit.
I cannot believe that developer Idle Effects and Majesco thought that this game was going to be bigger than what it was. When it was first being shown at E3 2003, Idle Effects said that Drake of the 99 Dragons would be the game if John Woo and Batman the Animated Series artist Bruce Timm decided to work together. Plans were already underway to make a comic book series tie-in to go with Drake's self-proclaimed comic book style and action. Majesco wanted Drake of the 99 Dragons to be huge. Needless to say, it wasn't. The game was met with extremely negative reviews, and thousands of unsold copies wasted away in clearance bins at retail stores everywhere. You can buy it brand new off of Amazon.com for $2. But, as I'm about to show you, that's way too much for it.
The first thing you see after the game boots up is the Majesco logo. At least I think that's what it is because it's blurry as fuck. Seriously, did they do that on purpose? Maybe they wanted to blur the logo so nobody would know they had anything to do with this miserable manifestation of demon semen and Reese's feces. It's a shame because the artwork is actually kinda cool. It has a Saturday morning animation or indie comic vibe to it. Then you see the cutscenes, which look atrocious. This is 2 years into the Xbox's life, and this was the best they could do. But oh boy, let me tell you, I haven't even started playing yet. So let's pick up the Duke here, this big ass tank fucking controller, and let's get started. Because it's gonna get fucked.
The game starts off by introducing us to Drake of the 99 Dragon Clan.
Most people I meet, I only meet once.
Okay, we're what, 7 seconds in? And this guy is the biggest dork I've ever seen. First off, he must have lockjaw or something, because he cannot keep his mouth closed. Second, for trying to get us to believe that he's some amazing assassin, he's playing around with 2 unloaded pistols like a 10-year-old who just got into his dad's gun cabinet. Drake's training on his own when he sees a commercial on TV, because all assassin dojos have televisions in them, in case they get bored. The commercial is from Tang Industries, showing off a new cyborg, when suddenly one of those cyborgs attacks Drake in his dojo. Finally, some gameplay. The cyborg charges right at me and whoa, what is happening? Okay, so one of the biggest criticisms of Drake of the 99 Dragons is how terrible the controls are. How terrible? Well, I died on the tutorial fight. That bad.
The slightest movement of the control pad makes his arms flail all over the place. Why would they do that? I understand the game was developed under a very short time, but somebody had to pop this in at least once and say, this controls like ass.
It wants to play like a typical third-person shooter. Left and right triggers to fire, left stick to move, right stick for camera and aim. But the camera swings around so much and wrestles with everything in the environment that it's impossible to take proper aim at anything. So being in an enclosed environment trying to fight one robot was harder than it should have been.
So after jumping around, shooting at nothing for a minute, you finally kill the first bad guy and get another awkward cutscene. This is where the voice acting gets real good.
Presence inside it. A soul? Oh, what was that? Intruders in the penthouse of the 99 Dragons clan? You must be out of this world to get past our guards.
What the hell does that mean?
As this happens, Drake hears the rest of the dojo being attacked and gives some quick exposition.
I must see to the master. And the soul portal artifact. Rumors say Tang is hunting for it. It was given to our clan over 3,000 years ago. We've guarded it since, and we're not going to lose it now.
So then Drake runs in and does absolutely nothing, while some ninja ghost Grim Reaper guy steals some kryptonite, and then more awful voice acting.
This theft can't be Tang's doing alone. He must have aid from beyond this world.
The artifact, it can't be gone.
Oh, and the lips barely move, so I can never tell if they're actually talking or it's some kind of inner monologue. So anyway, now we're on to the first actual level of the game. Chase down the ghost assassin. You run around smashing the trigger buttons as fast as you can while Drake swings his arms around and hopefully hits the targets.
I'd like to showcase some of the awful gameplay now. You'll notice that there's no aiming reticule, because the game uses an auto-lock system to take aim at targets. And by lock-on, I mean a faint white circle will go around an enemy whenever it feels like it, and you might shoot at it. The camera may have something to do with it, but again, it's such a struggle to use that it's impossible to tell. Drake's arms pretty much point wherever the hell they want to, whether there's an enemy there or not. To give you an idea of how uncontrollable his aim is, even when Drake dies, his arms are going all over the place. Also, these graphics are absolutely horrendous. They claimed it was cel-shaded, but I really only see it on Drake's trench coat. Everything else looks simplistic and bland. And the cutscenes are among some of the worst I've ever seen.
A little tip here, never switch weapons. Like here, I picked up some machine guns, so of course I'm gonna switch to them, but look, they don't hit anything, and I die! And I'm only fighting 2 guys. I emptied a total of 4 machine guns and hit nothing. What the fuck? And the game's not hard. It's actually really easy, but it's so broken and glitchy and weird, and you're swinging your arms around like crazy, and then you're clicking the buttons like this. Listen. You like hearing that? So all this with the bad controls, everything all combined is a 5-star recipe for your declining sanity. So after you restart, you begin to adjust to the shit controls and vomit-inducing camera angles. But make sure you have a barf bag on hand for this game. Oh, excuse me. After the bad guy goes through the window, you find out that somehow, even though you were running all around the fucking building, you died in the same room you started. Oh, and your master's also dead.
Yup, at some point, they both died. They seemed fine when he left the artifact room, but they're dead now.
All dead! No!
So now, to add to the cliché list, you're an undead chosen one who has to avenge his master's death. Never heard that one before.
Seeing this activates Drake's chest tattoo of the Undying Dragon. A flashback shows his master giving him the tattoo that lets Drake come back to life. And time for more bad controls. Drake now has the ability to run on walls, which, using this along with the most floaty, imprecise jumping mechanics, makes this ability absolutely worthless. And it seems like it was only added in to make Drake seem cooler than he is. And there are several parts in the game where you have to run on walls, adding to the already frustrating shooting mechanics. Souls are also available now. You need to collect these to restore your health, and they also fill a slow motion meter. Hold on now. Drake has 2 pistols, a trench coat, can run on walls, and go into bullet time. And this game came out in 2003, the same year that the last 2 Matrix movies were in theaters. I'm sure they weren't trying to capitalize on that market at all. The bullet time may actually be more worthless than the wall run. It's not like it helps you dodge bullets or anything, and it's a huge pain in the ass to use. There are 2 ways to activate it. You can press and hold the left stick, but it's difficult to do that while trying to run around. Plus, it'll go off on its own accidentally just from playing. The other way is to press and hold the B button, but to do that, you take your thumb off of the right stick, making it so that you can't move the camera anymore. So either way you try, it only gets in the way. You can also double tap to freeze time, which includes yourself, so again, worthless. But all of these powers go right to Drake's head.
Have I become invincible?
Feeling like a badass, Drake jumps out of a window and dies. I'm not kidding. He's dead. He then finds himself in the spirit world with 4 spirit gods. They demand he feed the dragon tattoo more souls, and they say they'll give Drake one more chance and a new body to get back the soul portal artifact.
But the thing about this place that really sucks shit soda through a straw is that every time you die, first you get a loading screen, and then you go back here for 10 seconds, listen to one of the statues talk shit about you.
There's no cure for stupidity beyond death.
Yeah, well fuck you too, you fucking statues! And then go back to the cutscene before the level.
This happens with every time you die. And with how broken this game is, you die a lot.
So now I'm chasing the artifact again, but the ghost hands it to some guy and you chase him all over the place. You need to shoot him and then follow the blood trail through the streets of whatever generic Asian city you're in. Watch out for the fire truck bus things that keep trying to hit you. And also, this is where I ran into my first actual glitch. So while I was chasing this dude, he got hung up on some wall and then he just ran into a pit of acid. Good job, Majesco.
Also, I'd like to demonstrate the terrible sound design in this game with one simple point. The sound effect of a door opening is the same one AOL Instant Messenger makes when a buddy signs online. Following the blood trail, I get to a point when the game tells me to jump down to the streets below. So I did. And I died.
This level, simply put, is annoying. The sounds of the cars are loud and you can still hear them inside the buildings. And why is that truck going backwards in the middle of the road? It's in the middle of the road going backwards!
Anyway, attempt number 2 at chasing this guy. I magically survive falling down to the street, and strangely enough, I catch him. Look at him, he's right there. But no amount of bullets will kill him. I have no choice but to completely ignore him and continue through the end of the level.
After you finish the level, you run into a fireworks factory where you shoot another 100 things while shit flies everywhere. In this level are the slowest platforms ever made. Oh, come on, I could build a sculpture of a horse taking a shit out of horse shit in the time it takes to get up there. Once you finally get up there, you just fight your way into this room where you kill everyone and just die in an explosion.
Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. The world's most skilled and feared assassin has died no less than 3 times so far. Besides, aren't assassins usually known for how stealthily they can kill a target and then escape never to be seen? Drake's tactic seems to be going in head first, guns a-blazing. Also, when Drake's guns run out of bullets, he pulls out 2 more. He doesn't reload them, he drops them on the ground, magically pulls 2 more out of his armpits, and keeps firing. And all of those guns that he is carelessly throwing onto the ground are covered in his fingerprints. How has he not been caught yet? So now that he's dead again, Drake gets another scolding from the spirit gods, and then points out that the artifact is going to be dropped off at a casino. Drake gets another body and heads there. The game says that I now have the ability to draw in souls for health, or cause them to explode by using the black and white buttons. But despite my many efforts, no matter how many times I pressed those buttons, nothing actually happened. That's 2 more worthless abilities because they literally don't work.
This level's just a clusterfuck. From the beginning, shit's flying at you everywhere. You're constantly running and jumping off walls and getting stuck in walls. Look at this, I didn't mean to run in here, and now I'm stuck. The door won't open, and now I have to run the clock out until I die and restart the level. I could just load another game, but I fucked up and I haven't been saving this whole time. So now, I gotta sit in this room for over 8 minutes. Kill me. The end of this level has a boss fight, and man, let me tell you about the boss fights in this game. For a while, I had no idea what to do because when you shoot the boss, there's no indication you're even hitting him. I thought maybe there's some trick or something, but then after hammering the triggers over and over again until my fingers are numb, the mission just ends.
While trailing him, Drake finds out that the courier has actually lost the artifact somewhere while going into a fish factory. Figuring the gangsters will be pissed at him, Drake knows he must get to the courier before he gets killed.
The next level is just a fetch quest. Collect key cards to open doors and find the exit. It's annoying, it's boring, and every time you use the card, a message pops up to tell you that you used the card and stays on the screen for what feels like an hour. You gotta love this dance floor area with that jammin' 3-second loop. Can you imagine going to a nightclub and the only song playing is a 3-second loop of auditory anal grease? By this point, the game ramps up the difficulty and frustration to the highest possible level. Enemies teleport out of nowhere, and this is the very beginning of the stage. The game fills each room with as many enemies as fucking possible, and now they're even more powerful. This is the very beginning of the level, and I'm dead!
After a thrilling boss fight, Drake gets to the thief and discovers that someone named Pock has the artifact. So he steals a motorcycle and gets ready to murder some more.
This is a one-way street to hell.
I start killing motorcycle dudes. Until this happens. See? This game is nearly impossible to play. And I'm not even halfway through it yet. After all of that, Drake ends up at some place, and there's a boss fight against a guy and his demon dogs. Just as he's shot down, there's an explosion, and Drake dies. Master Assassin. This allows Tang to steal the artifact. The gods yell at Drake some more, and send him to some other factory where 2 guys are beating the crap out of a whale? What? How did they even get a whale in there? And for what purpose? Oh, never mind. This level ends with Drake opening a door. Inside, some chick shoots at Drake, and he dies. For those of you keeping score at home, Drake has died 5 times. Also, look at this. I've seen PS1 games have better cutscenes than this Xbox game. Anyway, the spirits say their energies are drained, and rather than give Drake a new body, they send him back to his corpse at the dojo. Wait, you mean the one with exit wounds the size of a baseball? And he's not at the dojo? He's in a morgue now? I honestly don't know. I don't think this game does either.
The worst part is that the level also begins to focus more on platform jumping. This is where the problems in the game really mount up, and it just builds inside you with all this rage, and you become just boiling so fucking hot. It's not like you're in hell, you've become hell. Bad people die and they go into you. This level is based on riding elevators and making jumps, but Drake does whatever the fuck he feels like. Also, if you fall from too high, you die. I almost cried trying to beat this elevator level, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. Because if this game doesn't bring you to the verge of spilling rage-filled tears of anger, then you can't be human.
Drake catches up to the truck carrying the body of his dead master. The truck gets stopped at what must be the slowest gate in the world, as Drake has enough time to run up, crawl underneath, and grab onto the frame before it takes off again. And here inside of another factory, Tang's evil plan starts coming together. They're stealing dead bodies to transfer their souls into cyborgs, and then the bodies literally disappear.
This level has you flying through the air on fans trying to reach the right door. Sometimes the fans work, and sometimes you go right through it. And sometimes the fan's so powerful it shoots you up to the ceiling and kills you. It's one of those sometimes games. Sometimes you'll struggle not to tear out your eyelashes, and sometimes you'll throw the Xbox out the fucking window.
At the end of this stage is another boss fight with some woman, who screams like a man when she dies. And Drake, not content with filling her with bullets, proceeds to pummel her face in. When suddenly, a door opens revealing that his master is now a giant robot, and Drake's immediate solution for rescuing him is to shoot him.
I mean, shit's flying all over the place. I don't even know what's hitting me. And before I know it, I'm dead. What the fuck? I froze time before I died, and it's still frozen.
When the robot is destroyed, you can clearly see that all that is left of Master is his head, but Drake still manages to instantly pull his entire body out of it. Drake's spirit then carries his master's body to the... Wait, what? How is it that Drake, in his ethereal form, is able to lift up anything physical? Also, since he's in his spirit form, I guess that means that Drake died again. And how did Master's body, from the living, physical plane, get inside the spirit realm? Ah!
And now you gotta go down into the subway and... What the fuck? I can't fucking stand this. I would cheat, but they didn't even program cheat codes. But how could they? They can't even program a fucking game.
Drake looks to break into Tang's headquarters, and he knows that the best way to do that is to, oh, f me, a sewer level! You know, it's one thing to have Drake of the 99 Dragons be one of the worst things ever created, but throwing a sewer level in there just guarantees that nobody's going to like this game. And Tang obviously knows that the sewer is an easy entrance into his secret lair, because it's filled with laser tripwires, security cameras, and landmines. He even has guards working down there in the middle of the night, just to make sure. Why have that entrance at all? The only thing that happens at the end of this stage is that I kill that ugly purple-haired chick because she got stuck in a wall. Right after, Drake finds a screen that somehow reveals all of Tang's plans to him. Tang is going to use the Soul Portal artifact to open a soul portal to obtain countless souls. Drake continues to demonstrate his stealth skills and finds Tang. Tang is already gathering souls, which he is going to use to power his cyborg army, so that he can take over the world. He wants to take over the world because... There's another boss fight here against some creature in Tang's hologram? I kill the hologram first, and I don't even want to think about how that works. And then the creature. Drake chases the Phantom with the artifact through the Soul Portal, causing Drake to end up in the Spirit Realm. And by Spirit Realm, I mean Spirit Hallway.
Whether you have the patience or just fucking hate yourself, it is possible to make it to the end. The game may be unplayable, but it isn't impossible. When you get there, get ready for the culmination of all the shit you've experienced so far in concentrated anal suppository form. The final levels are all the same, with some minor differences. Each level begins with a stroll down Satan's shit chute and ends with the most frustrating platforming so far.
I've only briefly touched upon how bad the jumping mechanics are, but it's no more evident than in these levels, because you have to do a bunch of platforming. And for whatever reason, the game eases up here, because if you fall off, you're allowed to respawn right back where you were. Why wait until now? Why not have that for, I don't know, the entire game?
At the beginning of the level, it says you can only damage the ghost when using the slow or freeze motion abilities. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's a complete fucking lie.
Thankfully, guns are just as effective against ghosts as they are against fleshy things, and Drake finds some kind of tunnel at the top. This portal makes Drake fall. With a bunch of cars? Where did those come from? Did a bunch of pedestrians drive through Tang's hideout and right through the portal too? Never mind. There's more platforming here, leading Drake to another portal hole thing which causes him to fall again. This leads to, you guessed it, more Demon World platforming. It's pretty clear at this point the developers got really lazy and started reusing assets over and over again. At least at the top of this stage, there's a boss fight against that Phantom from the beginning of the game. He was probably meant to be threatening or difficult or something, but all I did was stand still firing bullets into his chest until the game told me to stop. The Phantom dies, dropping the artifact down another hole. In here, you use the artifact to awkwardly bounce around to collect the shattered soul of your master. You know, this could have been fun if jumping around didn't suck so much.
It's hard to die here, and it's pretty pointless, but whatever. Alright, this is it. The final boss. Almost free from this hellhole. It's time to slay the Spirit Lord Supreme.
You dare to enter uninvited!
And this is by far the most difficult level of the entire game. Not because he's the final boss, not because he's hard, but because the culmination of every single broken mechanic happens in this one stage. In order to even hurt the boss, you have to shoot bones on a wall to reveal a red thing that weakens him. But you have to do this while the boss is constantly slinging his arms and heads at you, which sends you flying around the room. This is disorientating and confusing, and several times you'll get hit into the boss to take more damage. There are so many times when I couldn't live for longer than 15 seconds.
This boss is a metric ton of fuck. Convert that and you got 2,205 pounds of pure fuck shit pissness.
But I refuse to let the game beat me.
We've come this far, and it's time to end this. Shoot the bones until that weird techno music kicks in and unleash all the fury of the undying dragon on the Spirit Lord Supreme.
Whether it was by skill, coincidence, or dumb luck, I kill the son of a bitch.
He returns.
With the artifact.
I've done it. I've fulfilled the prophecy. I've avenged my master. I am the one.
Whoa.
Drake brings the artifact to the spirit realm, again, how, and returns his master to life by bringing back his soul. The game ends with one of the most cliche lines of all time, when Drake asks,
So I guess this is the end?
Hardly. It has just begun.
and they were so wrong about that. This game was over before it began. I can't even imagine how many children cried when they got this game. That's why my final rating for this game is a bucket of tears out of 10. There is nothing redeemable about Drake of the 99 Dragons. The graphics are bad, the voice acting is atrocious, the game design is unfinished and uninspired, it's littered with bugs and glitches, the controls don't work, and above all else, it's not fun. No one should have to suffer through this, either playing it or being one of the poor fools who had to work on it. It should have never been released in its current state, previous state, or any possible future state it could have had. It is bad. If you see Drake of the 99 Dragons in a store somewhere, I urge you, don't pick it up. Don't go near it. Don't even look at it out of morbid curiosity. If you're some sicko who wants to play the game, well, you can right now. Simply take any game you own and beat yourself over the head with it for 6 hours.